Hey class, this is Instructor Paige. I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to reach out to you for this week because we're in week 7. Now, as you've seen, this is the speech week. Yes, it's speech video. And I know it's intimidating, which is why I wanted to give you a few quick tips to help you feel a little bit better about this week and what I'll be expecting and things like that. Now, I thought I would do a presentation. I'm actually using Screencast-O-Matic right now, so you'll probably see a little thing, advertisement. This is a free video recording program, and as you can see, you just see me in the bottom little right-hand screen. And this is a great program that I really recommend students using because you can do a PowerPoint and it helps you get ideas of how to focus. It gives you notes to look at while you record. And it also helps you feel a little bit better and a little bit more confident because your screen that I'll be seeing for your speech is really small and in the bottom. And I really recommend this because it really helps. And so I thought I would use it, that way you could see what's going on. So, right now we're in week 7. We are in the speech video week, which is why I thought I would give the 5 tips for great speeches. This is something you probably see in the supplemental material folder, but it's something I really wanted to share again because it really does help. And thinking about public speaking can probably give you anxiety and you're not sure what to expect, what I'll be grading off of. And I just wanted to let you know I've been teaching public speaking for over 7 years. This is something I really love to help students go through. And I promise you I'm not here to judge you, I'm here to help you. And this is a very intimidating week, but this is to help kind of get everything together that we've been learning. So using your nonverbal communication and thinking about the other person watching, dual perspective. And it brings everything we're learning together. Because if you're able to effectively communicate out loud versus just writing a paper, that really brings everything we've got together. Now, my 5 tips for public speaking. The first one, and really, really important, is practice. I know that sounds silly, that's something we tell our kids, hey, practice, 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 but I am being serious, this really does help. And instead of just practicing like reading through the speech, which, I do sometimes too, practicing it out loud is actually the most helpful, and it's tremendous how much this helps, because writing a paper and then saying it out loud, as you've noticed through the audio presentation week, it really, it sounds a lot different out loud. And practicing it out loud will help you avoid filler words like you see on the slide, which is like, so. And when you're nervous, you tend to use those a lot more. And if you haven't practiced out loud, you're not sure how to transition from one point to the next. The second one, this is pretty big. I know it sounds pretty counterintuitive. When you're nervous, everyone tells you, hey, relax. But actually doing that is really tough. And so when I say relax here, I'm just saying to take a few quick deep breaths before your speech. Just deep breath in and out. If you do that about 3 times, that can help you feel a little bit better, and it will help relax your voice. And then if you sound a little bit more confident, you'll actually start to feel more confident. And I promise you, the toughest part of giving a presentation is that first minute. Getting through that first minute, that 60 seconds of nervousness, and you'll feel a lot different. So I say relax, take some deep breaths, figure out, record your speech a few times and see which sounds the best to you, and you can submit that one, or you can watch it back and just feel a little bit more confident. Now the third one, this is big, this is the same like in your English classes if you've taken that yet, is to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So like with your papers, it really helps to have that introductory paragraph, like I'm going to talk about this, and you break it down. Having a beginning to your presentation, it gives you that moment to get through that awkwardness, that nervousness at the beginning. Like I said, that first minute is usually the most difficult to get through, but having a good beginning, which is just saying, I'll be covering the emotional influences, here's a situation I'll be talking about, and just breaking that down helps you jump into the speech. And then you'll get into the middle spot, and then the ending is where you'll conclude. Most students at the end of their audio presentation are like, well, that's it. Well, the ending here is just to kind of wrap everything up, talk about what you just covered. And I say that because your speech this week needs to be 3 to 5 minutes long. I know that doesn't sound long, but sometimes when you're nervous, it can all blend together and it can be just about 60 seconds. And so timing that out and having an ending saying, we talked about this is what we covered, this is why we covered it, these are my thoughts about it. Having that ending really helps to finalize that speech and makes everything kind of flow together. The fourth one is more difficult than it sounds. It's enthusiasm. That's your voice. That's getting really loud about a topic or getting really quiet. Using different variants of your voice is really helpful in engaging your audience. So if you have someone listening to you, you really want to get them listening, and you use that with your voice. And that's why I say the fourth tip is to have enthusiasm. So instead of, sitting there reading your speech and just kind of reading through, use some enthusiasm, practice actually presenting, have the screencast-o-matic to where you see your PowerPoint slides and you're able to say, hey, that's my next point, and you can just kind of talk like you're talking to a friend. And that helps the speech be more fun for you. And also for me, I grade about 180 speeches or papers a week, and having it more fun with you presenting has it way more fun for me to grade as well. The fifth one is my biggest downfall. I probably already did really bad with this, and that is to slow down. When nervous or excited, we all tend to talk a lot faster, and working on slowing down and practicing your speech and hearing, hey, if I pause, it adds more drama, am I right? So slowing down your words will help you work on those filler words. It'll help you hear when you can add more enthusiasm to your voice, and slowing down will sound more like you've prepared for the speech, and it's really helpful. So the 5 tips, and I'll review them again. This is a great example of the ending, the conclusion of your speech, is to practice, 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 practice out loud, drive everybody crazy, and just keep practicing it out loud till you feel confident. And the second one is to relax. As soon as you hit record, you're going to get really nervous. So take a deep breath and just kind of breathe. And if you relax, that helps you with filler words, and it helps you with the enthusiasm. And the third one is to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. That means don't just jump into the speech, your presentation, have an introduction of what you'll cover, have the meat, which is the middle, and then have the ending, talk about what you covered, and just kind of conclude it that way. The fourth one is enthusiasm. Remember, that's with your voice. We talked about nonverbal communication in this class, and that is over 90% of our communications. So how we talk and the enthusiasm we use says a lot with our words. The fifth one is slow down. This is really tough for me. I understand this is difficult. And that's why the last one is just to have fun with this. If you have fun, if you find a way to make this interesting for you, it honestly makes it more fun to do this presentation. And I know it's intimidating, and I just want to remind you that I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to see, hey, did you give a perfect speech? I'm here to say, okay, they did it. They recorded the speech. It looks like they've prepared. And the biggest one is that they understand everything we've covered. Now this week, I didn't put it on the slide, and I should have, is your instructions are saying that you need to have 2 theories in your review of the emotions. And the book doesn't really say what the theories are, and that's really confusing. I know the assignments in this class are kind of vague, and it's really hard to understand how you should do it, which is why I'm trying to do some videos for you so you can understand what's going on. But the theories, which is silly to call it that because you're not going to learn about communication theories until later if you take that in upper level courses. Theories for this paper is just the bold words in your book. So if you just use a lot of terminology, the theories could be the perceptual view of emotions. It can be, the understanding emotions part in chapter 7. So just adding a few of those in there, that's all I'm really looking for, is to see that you read the book, you understand the book, you can apply the book. Honestly, that's what it is. If you still have questions, I'm really happy to help explain it a little bit better. And then since I have you here, before you go, I know it's really hard to watch a video, you've got a lot going on. I did want to bring up a heads up of week 8. Now that starts next week, which is the final week of the course. You're almost there. I want to say be careful of the final. Now everyone, I've had so many and it's really hard. Everyone starts to take the final as soon as week 8 starts. And so they dive in and then they go, oh no, I'm not ready. Well, I am not allowed to give you another attempt at the final. And so I really want you to prepare for this one. It covers all the chapters we've read, but I will give you tips. There are some repeat questions from the quizzes. So some of them will sound familiar, but some of them are new. And if you just skim through the chapters, I don't recommend reading them because that's way too much time. I recommend just looking through the bold words and making sure each of it is triggering, like, oh, I remember that. I remember that. And that's all you really need to do. Is if you skim everything real quick before you take the final, that really helps tremendously. Now, I say that is because your final is worth 11% of your total grade in the course. So not taking the final will drop you a letter grade. So I really want to make sure that you guys are prepared and that you're ready for that final. And then since I already have you here, week 8's assignment is also vague. Shocker. And so for this one, what I'm really looking for, you'll be talking about family lifestyles, which there's a few different styles, or stages, I should say. And I won't spoil it because you're going to read about it soon, but for each stage, what I'm looking for next week is that you took what communication will be effective in each stage. So like with the first stage, is meeting each other, getting married, that kind of thing. And for that one, I want to see what communication, what have I learned that can be applied to this stage? What is the most helpful? Would that be conflict management? Would that be listening? Would that be dual perspective? Would that be nonverbal communication? Plug in as much as you've learned into each stage. So it's going to ask you for 2 examples, which is just to tell me what that stage is about, and then apply what we've learned to each stage. So that's the 2 examples. It's not very clear in the instructions, and hopefully that helps. So basically, I'm just looking for you to wrap everything up from this course and to tell me what you've learned and how it's helpful, how you can use it in your everyday life. And then if you have any questions, I'm here to help. I have office hours, but honestly, I'm always on. I have my phone, so if you email me, it goes straight to my phone and I'm able to see if it's an emergency. That way, if my office hours aren't on, because I know a lot of the time it's during the day and you're busy, but if you just email me, I can see it. And if it's an emergency, I get back to you really quickly. And I'm just here to help you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. Or if you're just worried about presenting, or if you have trouble recording, just reach out to me and I'm really happy to help. Now, I hope you all have a great week and I can't wait to see your speeches. Bye.